Ever get that like, frustrating feeling when you're, trying to speak another language, but the words just, they just aren't there. Like you really want to express yourself fluently, but you kind of feel stuck because your vocabulary just feels so limited.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Well, good news. Today, we're diving deep into some like game-changing strategies to boost your fluency.
Okay.
Even if you don't have like this massive vocabulary.
Love it.
We're going to be looking at how to improve fluency despite limited vocabulary.
A source that really challenges the idea that you need a dictionary's worth of words to be fluent.
It's not about that.
No.
And they really emphasize that it's about effective communication, not just like rattling off 1,000,000 words per minute.
Exactly. And they have this really interesting comparison. They compare fluency to music.
Okay.
You don't need to know every single note on an instrument to create a beautiful melody.
To make music.
Yeah. Exactly. It's about, conveying meaning, expressing yourself clearly and naturally, and then also like engaging with others and understanding them.
So like a dance.
Yeah, like a really like graceful dance where you move in sync with your partner.
Okay. I like that. So they actually break down their definition of fluency, right, into 3 key aspects.
Okay.
Natural flow, ease of expression, and then understanding and engagement.
So think about it this way, like natural flow. It's about speaking smoothly.
Okay.
Without those like awkward pauses or, constantly searching for words. Ease of expression means being able to convey your ideas clearly and confidently, even if you don't have that like perfect vocabulary. And then, understanding and engagement are all about active listening.
Oh, yeah.
And responding appropriately in conversations.
I like it. Okay. So they dive right into these super actionable strategies. And the first one is, surprisingly simple, which is embrace the power of simple language.
Sometimes, honestly, the most effective communication is the most straightforward. It's like, why use a $10 word when a 5-cent one will do, right?
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to like the video. Share it with friends who might find it helpful. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments what topic you'd like to hear.
So instead of saying like inclement weather, you can just say bad weather,
Yeah. It's like, why make things more complicated than they need to be?
Exactly. Now, what happens when you can't like quite find the right word? That's where paraphrasing comes in.
Paraphrasing. That's like the art of saying the same thing in different ways.
That's it.
I love that.
Yeah. So, like, for example, like, let's say you don't know the word architect.
Okay.
Instead of like freezing up, you could just say someone who designs buildings.
Right.
You're proving that you actually understand the concept.
Even if you can't remember that specific word.
Exactly.
It shows you're resourceful, quick on your feet. Plus, paraphrasing lets you keep that conversation flowing.
It does. It does. And then it shows you understand.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have the perfect vocabulary yet.
Right. Like so often, we're so worried about not knowing the exact perfect word that it just kind of stops us. But it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know the concept.
Yeah.
Just find a way to express it.
Just get it out there.
Exactly. Okay. So while we're on the topic of finding the right words, what about fillers?
Yes. The dreaded ums and ahs.
Right. But here's the thing. Fillers aren't inherently bad.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Used strategically, they can actually enhance your fluency.
Okay.
Think of them as little pauses.
Okay.
That buy you time to think.
I always thought they were like a sign of like, you weren't good at the language or something.
Not necessarily. No. They can actually make you sound more natural and fluent because they prevent those awkward silences. When you're searching for that right word. Of course, moderation is key. But our source gives a good example. They say, like, well, I think that the movie was really interesting. It's subtle. It doesn't disrupt the flow.
Right.
And it creates a natural pause.
It's like giving your brain a mini break.
Exactly.
Catch up. So it's not about eliminating them entirely. It's about using them consciously and sparingly.
I like that.
Okay, what about common phrases?
Oh, these are great. These are the phrases we use constantly, like, how's it going? Or that sounds great.
Right.
Mastering these can really make your speech sound natural and fluent.
Absolutely. And I always think it's fun to just like Take those simple phrases, like even that sounds great, and just try saying it in different ways, like sound surprised, sound enthusiastic, sound hesitant. You'd be amazed at how much you can communicate with just a few words.
Absolutely. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
A slight change in tone.
It changes the meaning completely. Okay, so strategy number 5.
Okay.
It's all about focusing on your message. Prioritize key ideas.
Yes.
Not every single word you know.
Sometimes less is more.
Yes.
Trying to use every complex word that you know can actually be overwhelming for both you and your listener. The source actually gives like a hilarious example of this.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Where they have this really long-winded sentence like, due to the inclement meteorological conditions, I was unfortunately unable to partake in the outdoor festivities. And then they're like, the bad weather meant I couldn't go to the party.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Right?
The second one is clear, concise, to the point.
Gets the point across.
It's much more likely to keep your listener engaged.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about contextual clues.
Okay.
And how we can use those to understand and be understood.
Think about it. We do this all the time in our native language.
You do?
We might not know every single word in a conversation.
Right.
But we can figure out the meaning based on the context.
Right. Like if somebody's describing their weekend plans, but they can't remember the word hiking, they could just say, I'm going for a long walk in the mountains with my friends.
Exactly.
You know immediately what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You don't need that specific word.
And this strategy is especially helpful in those like real-time conversations.
Right.
You don't have the luxury of like looking up every word in a dictionary.
No, you got to keep going. Okay, what about active listening?
Oh, this is a good one.
This is like becoming a language sponge.
It is.
Right.
It's not just about hearing the words, but truly absorbing them.
Yeah.
Paying attention to the pronunciation, the intonation, all those subtle cues that native speakers use.
It's like, it's one thing to just hear the words, but you've got to like really pay attention.
Exactly. It's a secret weapon in language learning. Because you can learn a lot by just like observing how native speakers actually use the language.
I love how in the source, they even suggest like mimicking the intonation expressions.
Yeah.
Like try it out.
It's like having a language coach right there with you.
Yeah.
You're training your ear and your mouth to work together seamlessly.
I like that. Okay. Regular practice, like the foundation.
This is it. This is the key. Think of it like working out a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you practice speaking, the more fluent you become. They even suggest setting a goal to speak for a few minutes each day.
Right.
Doesn't matter, how much time you have. Join conversation clubs. Just chat with friends.
Yeah.
And remember, it doesn't have to be a chore.
It can be fun.
It can be watch movies, listen to music, read books. Just immerse yourself.
Okay. I love it. What about visual aids?
Oh, these are great because sometimes a picture truly is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
And they can really help you communicate more effectively. Think back to that example of explaining your weekend plans. Instead of like struggling to describe every detail, you could show pictures
Right.
of your hiking route or whatever it is.
It's so much easier sometimes to just show something.
It is. It's a brilliant way to engage your listener as well. And visual aids aren't just for like travel plans.
No.
Think about like presentations, storytelling, or even just explaining a new concept.
Right.
They can be really powerful tools.
Okay. So final strategy that we're going to cover in this part.
Okay.
Embracing mistakes.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Mistakes are not the enemy. They're valuable learning opportunities.
I know we always say that, but sometimes it's hard to remember.
I know.
When you make a mistake, it's like, ugh.
I know.
But they really, in the source, they encourage this growth mindset.
Yes.
And, they remind us even native speakers make mistakes.
All the time.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
That's okay. The key is to view them as feedback,
Okay.
as chances to learn and grow.
Yeah. So instead of getting discouraged, just be like, okay, what went wrong? How can I do it better next time? And let's keep practicing.
Exactly. Use it as a springboard for improvement.
I like that.
Yeah. Remember that like frustrating feeling we talked about at the beginning? That feeling of being stuck because your vocabulary feels limited? These strategies are all about shifting that focus, right?
Cool.
From what you lack to what you can do with the knowledge that you already have.
It's like saying, hey, I might not know every single word.
Yeah.
But, I'm resourceful, I'm creative, and I'm going to find a way to communicate effectively.
Exactly. It's about confidence, resourcefulness,
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to like the video. Share it with friends who might find it helpful. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments what topic you'd like to hear.
And a willingness to experiment
Yeah.
and to learn. And that's where embracing those mistakes becomes so, so crucial.
Because if you're so afraid to make a mistake, you're less likely to even try
Right.
or step outside your comfort zone.
Think of it like learning to ride a bike.
Okay.
You're going to fall a few times, but that's how you learn. That's how you improve.
You know, I used to feel so self-conscious about practicing
Yeah.
with like native speakers. But I realized most people are really encouraging,
They are.
happy to help.
They want you to learn.
Yeah, it's all about finding those supportive language partners.
Absolutely. And our source even suggests, taking it a step further, reflect on your conversations afterwards.
Oh, interesting.
Think about, what went well? What could you improve? Like a post-game analysis for your language skills.
I love that. It's a chance to really analyze your progress, see where you can focus your energy, your practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we're kind of wrapping up our deep dive,
Yeah.
let's revisit those key insights
Okay.
that can make a real difference
Yeah.
in your language journey.
Okay. So for me, the biggest takeaway is fluency. It isn't about the size of your vocabulary. It's about communicating effectively.
Right. And we learned that simple language can be incredibly powerful.
Yes.
And that paraphrasing is your secret weapon.
I did.
When you can't remember that perfect word.
Right, right. And we saw how those dreaded fillers can actually be helpful when used strategically. Yeah. And how mastering those common phrases can make you sound so much more natural.
Right. Don't forget about focusing on your key ideas.
Yes.
Using context to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Becoming an active listener.
So important.
And of course, regular practice.
Yes.
And a positive attitude towards mistakes.
Essential. Are essential. It's amazing how much progress you can make when you shift that perspective.
Right.
From limitations to possibilities.
It's true. So to everyone listening, remember, fluency is a journey, not a destination.
Embrace the challenges. Celebrate the victories.
Yes.
Never stop learning.
And now for a final thought.
Okay, so we've focused on speaking with a limited vocabulary.
Right.
But think about this. How can you apply these same principles
Okay.
to improve your writing?
Interesting.
Could you use paraphrasing to enhance your writing? Could you use shorter, simpler sentences
Right.
to create a more impactful message?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that these strategies can help us become better communicators
Yes.
in all areas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of our lives. That's it for our deep dive today. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel empowered to continue on that language learning journey.
Remember, fluency is within your reach,
It is.
even with a limited vocabulary.
Keep practicing, stay curious, and most importantly, have fun.
Have fun
Until next time, keep diving deep.
into the fascinating worlds of language.